This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And this is Carly. And you're listening to
Babes and
Babies. I know.
This is Liz.
I know. I just coughed right before we did it. And you know, sometimes you cough and your voices change.
Yes.
This is Liz.
That's kind of what
Man.
happened. This is Liz.
Liz and I are sort of falling apart right now.
Little bit.
You could
Little
be.
bit.
I always reference this, I think, but you could be like Phoebe when she's all sexy when she's sick.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Smelly cat.
Wait,
You guys, speaking of Friends.
yes, I was going
found
to say
this
this. Your
out.
Instagram
This
story,
is
right?
crazy. Yeah. So
I'm obsessed
I'm
with
like-
Friends, so I don't understand.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't watch my Instagram story, so I'm sitting with Evan the other day and Friends is on, and he's like, "Oh, are they in a relationship?" That's what he says while he's watching the show. And I said, "I'm sorry," about like Monica and Chandler, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, what did you just ask?" And he's like, "Are they dating?" And I was like, "Okay, have you not seen Friends?" And he's like, "No, no, I haven't. I think maybe I've seen like a part of an episode one time." And it blew my mind because you guys, I quote Friends all the time.
Constantly.
Like, I say things all the time, and I always thought he just got it.
So he had no idea when you were saying pivot?
No.
What you were talking
And
about.
no. And I really thought he, like, got it. Like, and he probably laughed to, like, appease me. Like, okay, Carly, like, pivot, like, so funny. But no, he had no freaking idea. And so last night, this is actually really funny. So I was, like, in the mood last night. And I was sending him all of these Friends gifts that were like sexual gifts, but not like too sexual, just to kind of like
Just flirty.
see what he'd do. And then he kept sending me Seinfeld gifts back.
Oh, no.
And then at one point it was like, oh God, well, it was George doing something. He was like, are you saying you want me or something like that? And then I sent him back another like Friends one. Never did he come in the room. Never ever. So I just went to sleep. I was like, clearly this isn't working. But it was so funny.
Gift sexting fail.
What major gift sexting fail.
You know
But
what, though? Oh, go ahead.
I just think that's so crazy. Like, who hasn't seen Friends?
I think I've talked about this before, but when Emerson was a newborn and I would be, she'd be cluster feeding all through the night, I would just go downstairs and I would watch Friends episodes. And within the first like 2-3 months of her life, I went through all, like, what is it, 10, 11 seasons?
It's 10 seasons.
10 seasons. That's how much I watched
so good. It
yeah.
blows my mind. Like, I was looking at every gif, like unagi and like Monica's hair when she gets it braided.
Oh,
my
my
God.
gosh, that is the
Like,
best.
I mean, like, we were on a break. Like, all of these funny gifts that I'm like, I'm so sad you don't get how you doing. Like, how funny these things are. Because you would look at this and think it was so funny if you only knew.
Yeah. No, what's weird, though, watching the show back is because that was the 90s. How much times have changed? Because a lot of it is so tone deaf. I'm like, oh, that's like so racist or so like homophobic.
So true.
And I'm like, oh my God, these are bad like jokes. But you know, it's
Right.
just like such a different time, and it's still such a great show. You can't deny that. But
It's so weird because I remember my grandmother used to watch it and I wasn't allowed in the room when she was watching it because it was like adult content.
yeah,
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my God, like some of it really is super racy. You're like, whoa.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So funny.
It was part of like Vito and I's relationship. Like, I was like, you have to watch all of Friends. And he's like, okay, you have to watch all of Parks and Rec. And so he watched all of Friends and I watched Parks and Rec. And you guys, Parks and Rec is freaking hilarious. If you
It is
haven't
super
watched
funny.
it, oh my gosh.
It's funny.
It
Yeah.
is so funny.
That's where I fell in love with Chris Pratt.
I know.
Yes.
Jade
Yes.
just loved him when he was chubby, when he
did.
Yeah,
like
she's always loved him.
when he was
When
just
he-
funny. She likes
When
funny
he had
guys.
his man's
Funny.
transformation.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. He is funny. Funny guys are hot. Haven't we
single
talked about
now.
like Seth Cohen
So
from like
hot.
the OC?
No, he's dating Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. Chris Pratt is.
Oh dang.
That won't last.
Well, I'm married, so it's
Well, crap. This is not going well
just
for us.
kidding. No, yeah. Friends all day, day.
I mean, it's so good. It makes me sad.
we can watch it on our girls' trip. We can have
We
a
should.
Friends marathon while we're having a little vino.
I mean, it's like the perfect thing to have on in the background.
It is.
I love it so much.
It makes everybody happy. Like, if you're in a bad mood, you can turn on Friends and you will be in a good mood.
Truth.
So I think out of our group, that Carly, you would be Monica.
Really?
I love Monica. She's hilarious, but you're the clean freak out of all of us. You're more of the clean one or organized one.
Have you seen my closet?
You showed it. It
was so bad. Okay.
You don't think you would
love
be?
Monica. I don't think so, but I do love her.
I don't think we
actually
really
she
any
does
of
have
them, but
she does kind of have her crazy closet though that she has too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So maybe I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be Phoebe 100%.
Yeah, you would.
But I'm not I'm not a rich little snobby girl though. Like Rachel starts out as like a prissy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Monica is too like oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? She just freaks out about everything.
She's a little bit not like hypochondriac, but like
neurotic kind of.
Neurotic.
Yeah, that's not you.
But that's because they're all like hyper characters, you know? Like they take a character trait of a person and they put it to an extreme. That's how you make good characters.
That's true. You guys tell us who we are.
Yeah. We went down a hole.
You know what, too? Maybe we're one of the guys. I was just Chandler, actually.
Yeah, I was actually literally just thinking that. I was thinking Carly's probably Chandler, and I think Jade's probably Ross.
I'm Ross.
Oh, you're Ross.
He's like a hopeless romantic, and he's...
That's true.
That's true. And
he's so, sensitive.
And you're like a little bit of a nerd.
A little bit of a nerd, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll be Ross.
I'll be Chandler. That's fine. Ross, Chandler, and Phoebe.
This is all for one 7-minute conversation about friends.
You guys are welcome.
Sometimes you have to do it.
This is our love letter to our favorite show.
Mm-hmm. Also, we were watching the one Reese Witherspoon was on. You know, Reese Witherspoon's Rachel's sister.
Yeah, she's the sister.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She was cute.
It's so funny. She was so cute. I love her. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Reese Witherspoon, yesterday I was looking at a picture of her and her daughter.
They're identical.
They are identical.
Yeah,
it is unbelievable how the same they are. Mm-hmm. Like from every angle. This is like a profile and I was like, holy cow. They have a little bit different of a nose, but like they look exactly the same. From the front, they look exactly the same. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, they're cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
All right, Liz, you had some things to tell us.
Well, okay. So I ran across this article about when kids lose their teeth and why parents should hang on to these. And it says that science and doctors are encouraging people to hang on to their kids' baby teeth when they fall out, but it's not for necessarily sentimental reasons. It's because there's abundance of stem cells in their teeth that could potentially save their lives further down the road.
Whoa.
But you can't just like throw it in a plastic bag and it's good. So I think that there's organizations called like a tooth bank where they specialize in storing the baby teeth. So is this something that you guys would do for your kids?
I mean, it's got to be expensive. I would imagine to store these teeth because when I was pregnant with Emerson, I had a company approach me and say they wanted to store my cord blood or her cord blood and for the stem cells. And it was really expensive, but they wanted to work together, and so they were going to do it for me as a free service. And I ended up wanting to delayed cord clamp, and so you can't do both. They were like, you can. They're like, you can do both, but you might not get as much as you want. And then I had Emerson so early that it didn't even cross my mind during my delivery.
Yeah.
But it's really expensive. So I don't know. I mean, sure, yeah, that sounds great. But you can also get it from there's also like public stem cell banks that doctors have access to and stuff. So, but it's cool. It's a cool idea.
That is cool. Yeah.
I actually looked up the pricing and it's not horrible. It is for the first year. It's $590. And then you could buy a package to like store it for 20 years and then it's $1,500. Like over 20 years, it's not.
Yeah. Then you may never use it though. And then.
Right. So it's just like a cost that you paid for nothing.
I mean, I think it's a great precaution and I think it's cool science.
Yeah.
Because
I guess if you have $1,500 just lying around, why not?
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
that's not most people.
I mean, maybe I can just try to throw them in my freezer. And I'm just going to be that creepy person in my freezer that has 5 Ziploc bags of my children's teeth.
Oh my
That
gosh,
is
it's
creepy.
so creepy. Wait, was it on the new season of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was it Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Where they were like in somebody's house and this lady
Yes.
had a basket of old teeth?
Yes.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
Ew.
Can I just say that I saw Anthony in the airport at Kansas City?
Stop.
Yes. So when Tanner, where were we going? Oh, to Puerto Rico. He was leaving early that morning too and going somewhere. But he was in the security line right next to us. And
Oh my gosh.
he is so much taller than I thought. And
Really?
Oh my God. He's so cute. But we didn't say hi. We left him alone, you know, because I'm sure he gets swarmed.
Right.
But he's a good looking man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
That's a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got all excited. I never get starstruck, and I was like,
Isn't it funny the ones that like do that to you that you're like,
yes.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, I don't know who I would get starstruck by.
I just
Oprah.
have like these imaginary like fantasies in my head of like we would totally click. Even not like if it's romantic. I'm like, I would totally just vibe with him. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I have like
Totally.
these fake relationships, friendships in my head with these people. That's why I get starstruck.
You're like,
I mean,
'cause we would
the
be
other
best
day-
friends in real life.
Yes.
The other day I was hanging out with Taylor Swift in my dream and we were besties. I get it.
There you go.
I get it. Yeah.
That's awesome, by the way.
Even if not in like real life, like we're best friend dream friends.
Yes.
It's fine.
Alternate
I'm
realities.
not bragging, but I'm bragging.
Okay, Carly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you and Evan and the family doing a cute Christmas card this year?
I mean, we haven't started planning that, but we definitely should do that.
Tanner and I have been so bad, but I always get so like FOMO or jealous, if that's the word to use,
Yeah.
when I get a card in the mail from a family and it's so cute and
So
they have the
cute.
best ideas.
Yes.
And that's why I think like minted.com is such a great place if you're looking to do that.
Oh my gosh, totally. I actually used minted.com for Bella's birth announcements, and they turned out so beautiful.
Yeah, minted.com is the only place to get a truly unique holiday card, and it's by simply texting Minted a picture from your phone. So this is not off the shelf, one size fit all, templated holiday cards. All the designs are created by independent artists and voted on by thousands of tastemakers, giving you the very best design. So text your photo to cards, that's 22737, and new customers will get 20% off. Text your photo to 22737 and get 20% off your first purchase. Get started right now and text your photo to 22737. I had a dream the other night that Vito broke up with me, and I
Oh my
woke
gosh.
up so mad because I had gone back to
hate
school.
those.
I know, it's the worst. I had in my dream, I'd gone back to school, but for some reason, I decided to live in the dorms. And there was like 15 people to a dorm. Like the bunk beds were stacked
Ew.
3 high.
It's like Bachelor Mansion.
Oh, it was like at the
Yeah.
Bachelor Mansion. And then I called him because I was freaking out and I was like, I don't know if I should be here. I don't know what I should do. And he like wasn't answering my phone and he just kept hitting it straight to voicemail. And so I texted him and I was like, please call me like when you can. And then he texted me and he was like, I shouldn't feel guilty for not wanting to talk to you. And then he was like trying to like, basically he could encourage me to go to school so that he could leave me. And I woke up and I was like, if you ever.
Isn't that so funny when you're like mad at them the next day and they're like, I didn't do anything. It was a dream. You're like,
I know.
you did this. You made me
I
feel
talked to-
this way.
It was so sad. I was like, babe, don't encourage me to go to school, then break up with me. And he's like, I'm not going to.
I hate those dreams. Those are the absolute worst. It's so weird. So for like, I don't know, how long have I been with Evan? 2 years? For 2 years, I've never spoken to Evan in my dreams. Ever. Like
Wow.
I sometimes see him from afar, but he won't talk to me. Or I'll be like, where's Evan? Like if he's there, he won't talk to me because he's like breaking up with me or something. Like it's just been a horrible 2 years. And then ever since I went to that psychic, he's in my dreams hanging out with me, having fun. It's the
my
freaking
gosh.
weirdest thing ever. I don't know, like when I went to him, like something like opened up inside me or
Right.
something. I don't know. But it is like Like the other day, we were like eating like Thai food in Asia together, just hanging out.
Oh, that's
Just
fun.
finding cool restaurants. And I'm like, that's so weird. Evan, like normally, I'm like, why won't he talk to me? I see him, but he won't talk to me. And now we're just chilling in Asia. No big deal.
I like your dreams. That sounds
Isn't
fun.
that crazy? Oh, I have
know.
the best dreams, you guys. They're so adventurous and fun.
I don't remember tons of mine.
Oh, I'm such a dreamer.
My dreams are weird. They're never like normal reality, really. So-
Really?
No,
Like, what
they're
do you
always
mean?
like I can fly, or there's like
I'm
weird mystical creatures, or
What? Cool.
yeah, or like even sometimes in my dreams I've been other people. So
What?
Yeah, I've been like a boy in my dream before, like several
Yeah.
times. I've been like a different gender, and
No way.
yeah, my dreams are weird.
That's super cool.
It's like actually very rare for me to have a dream that feels like real life, and when I do, they're very lucid. They feel like very
No
very
way.
real life. Yeah,
whoa, that's
I don't
so
know.
weird.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cruise ship dreams. That's like my most common dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I'm like
Yeah.
back on a cruise ship, or I'm like about to sign up for one. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be exhausting. Or I don't know the show. Like I'm like, oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
on the ship and I don't know the show. Oh crap.
I have old school dreams like that where I was supposed to study for a test or something, and I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are really scary. And you sit
Yeah.
there and you're
I'm
like,
like,
I don't know
I'm
any of these
31 years
answers.
old and I'm still having dreams about high school.
What does that mean though? Like, what does that mean? Like, is it something unfulfilled? Like, what is that?
Or just like pressure of something and I don't feel prepared, or I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
This is so weird. I was watching Kathy Lee and Hoda this morning, and Kathy Lee said she used to have this recurring dream, and so did one of her producers, where they're chewing gum, and their mouth is so filled with gum they can't open their mouth anymore to talk because it's just filled with gum.
That's
And I was
so
like,
weird.
that is so weird. And I thought it was so weird. Her producer had the same dream, and he
Yeah.
said it was because she said she doesn't have it anymore, but if she was trying to say something and she was unable to say it in life.
I've had teeth falling out dreams. But
Oh,
never-
yeah, me too.
never
Those are
gum.
weird.
Yeah.
Gum. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. What an interesting beginning of an episode.
I have one more thing to say that I was going to say, because Jade, you were talking about last week, just kind of like your weaning journey and how it changes your hormones. Well, sweet potatoes are an excellent food for helping balance hormones. It also is something that it's like an anti-stress food. The like properties that are in it are really, really good for you.
I will start eating more. You guys, I've been doing everything though, and I'm still a hot mess. Like I upped my magnesium. Someone told me to up my magnesium because I take it every night, and I upped it. I've been taking that maca root.
Yeah.
I've been putting what's it called? CBD oil in my tea at night. I've been doing a lot, and I'm still like a crazy person.
Did you get what I sent you of Julianne Hough, like in the morning when she does her ritual?
No, when'd you see
Oh,
that?
I tagged you in it. Like, I guess it was last night. But it was like, this is how I connect with the universe in the morning. And I was like, Jade, we need to do this.
I know. I actually have been thinking about doing hypnotherapy. I used to do it before I was pregnant, and then during like my first, probably 2 trimesters with Emerson.
Wait, what is that again?
Hypnotherapy. Remember when you and me and Julia went to Napa and we all laid down and we listened to that hypnotherapy track?
Oh, yeah. I
that.
was thinking it was something else. I don't know why.
No, it's just deep, deep relaxation.
Gotcha. Yeah. You used to send me some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about doing that lately because I feel like I'm disconnected from myself. So
yeah.
I feel like a crazy person.
Oh, I hate
There's
that.
all this brewing inside me, and I don't know where to even place it. It's just like like somebody's scribbling inside me.
This this is probably the same for you, but that guy said to me that he was like, okay, you know how a rainbow is like, it's so bright because it's a bunch of colors together. So if you had like the green over here and the blue over here and the pink over here, like you wouldn't see that because the only reason you see them is because they're all together and it makes it bright. He was like, your rainbow is like scattered right now. And that's why your light isn't bright. And you need to bring all the
integrate it.
colors together. So maybe that's the same for you. Maybe you're just so scattered everywhere that like your light isn't bright because it's not all together.
I need to integrate myself. Well, yeah, that's kind of what hypnotherapy would do.
Right.
So I'm thinking about doing that. I also downplay
I signed the
everything,
lease too,
so.
by the way. We should do hypnotherapy in my new spot, my new she shed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes,
It starts November 1st.
I used hypnotherapy after a breakup and through my eating disorder. So like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I did it in Bali, actually. This lady there recorded it for me. And I was at this
amazing.
like detox center for a week. And so this lady came in and did it with me. And then she like recorded it so that I could have it wherever I go.
Wow.
And, but I would not make it very far. I just fall asleep. And she said that's fine because you're still like subconsciously listening.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah, because I think Julia fell asleep when we did ours. Did I ever tell you guys how, because like hypnotherapy, you can go back to some of your first memories. I think that's what we were trying to do, Carly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually I remember texting my dad right after this, but I remember being in my mother's womb. I had a memory of being in the womb and how it felt like this is the safest place in the world, and it was like it felt like an endless galaxy in there. But I knew myself in that moment that I was in my mom's womb, and I was I guess fetus, if you want to, baby fetus, whatever you want to call it. But I had that memory, and I remember texting my dad.
Cool.
And they say that you can access those. And I was like, Dad, I was like, because my dad's kind of spiritual and weird like that too. And I was like, you will not believe what just happened. I'm like, I fully believe this. It was the craziest thing.
That's so cool.
It was just this weightless peace and safeness, this safe feeling. And this it felt like an endless galaxy in there. It was really cool.
That's so cool.
But I just had this self-awareness of that moment. It was weird.
Wow.
So if everyone's like listening, they're like, you're a freak.
I'm still thinking about the mythical creatures in your dream.
Oh, you guys, I watched weird movies as a kid.
It's like Avatar.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a lot of fantasy movies.
That's so
you guys,
funny.
I've still never seen The Never-Ending Story.
Whoa.
See, that was one of my favorite movies.
I know. I remember as a kid you loved it, but I
movie.
never saw it. So
Yeah.
I should probably watch it.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it.
Can't imagine fitting anything else into your life? Well, with Talkspace, therapy is as easy as sending your therapist a message. Get something off your chest whenever you need to. Talk about everyday challenges at work or at home. Just chat about life. There are no extra commutes, no leaving the office, and no judgments.
Remember that therapy isn't just about venting your innermost thoughts or digging into childhood memories. It's also about practical, everyday strategies for stress management and living a happier life. Having a therapist simply provides you a designated person to talk to who is trained to listen and help you make positive changes.
The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges that we all face. To match with the perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/babes and use the code BABES to get $45 off your first month and show your support for this show. That's babes and Talkspace.com/babes. Thanks for being weird with us, guys. We hope that our weirdness entertains you.
Or if you've turned this off because we're too weird, well, then you're not listening anyway. Never mind.
Well, you're going to want to turn it back on for this awesome guest we have.
Exactly.
Let me hear real quick. I don't know how to pronounce our guest's name. I feel bad. I'm going to have to ask
I was
her.
waiting for you to say it because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Eleni. I'm not sure, but we reached out to some people for birth stories, and a lot of our listeners recommended her. So, my brother's upstairs pounding. Sorry,
I can't hear it.
Okay. We can edit that out. But a lot of our guests, or a lot of our listeners, suggested Eleni. I feel so bad. I don't know how to pronounce it. Because she just had her son, which is her second child, and she shared her birth story on her blog, and she really opened up a lot about her infertility struggles. So she's going to come on and share her story.
Let's get her on. I'm excited to listen to her. Well, because, October is infertility and loss awareness month, and we weren't able to get a guest on during the month, but it is something that we really want to touch on because we know a lot of our listeners have dealt with that, and a lot of listeners have reached out and would love to talk more about it. So we're just super excited to have her on and hear her story, and hopefully a lot of you listening can relate to her. So let's get her on. Hi. We're so excited to have you on, but we feel horrible because we don't know how to actually pronounce your name.
That's okay. This is the struggle of my life. It's Eleni. It's really tricky.
Oh, it's so
Eleni.
beautiful.
Thanks, guys. This is crazy. Hi.
Hi.
You look cute.
Oh, I like quickly had to put my hair up. It's soaking wet. I'm like, I look like a rat, but
No,
here
I love
I am.
I love
Okay,
your
none of us have makeup on, so.
You're still gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, stop it.
Well, thank you for coming on. I know you were actually highly requested in our Facebook group to share your birth story because you just had your son, right?
Yes, I did. He's 2 months old on Thursday.
Oh,
my
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what's your son's name?
Arrow. I know.
That's
It's
so
wild. Thank
so
you.
cute.
I guess we just wanted to ask you mostly, I'll let you kind of take the floor or whatever, but we wanted it last, so October was infertility and loss awareness month. And so you struggled with infertility. And so we just want you to kind of share anything you want to share about that. And then we'd love to hear your birth story.
Okay, awesome. I would love to. So is it recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like my husband and I had tried for almost about 2.5 years. So we hadn't, this is TMI girls, but we hadn't been preventing it even before we were married and stuff. So we knew that things, I don't know. I just had a feeling in my stomach something was wrong from day one. I had told him that, and he thought I was absolutely crazy. How do you know? How do you feel this? And then month after month and month after month, it was harder and harder and harder. And it was still the first year. And I was like, I just know something's wrong. My doctor gave us a referral. So we're in Canada, and, usually they're pretty, you can see whoever you want, whenever you want. But still, they made us wait a whole other year. And by then I was just completely defeated. It was so hard. And I think unless you've been in it and you've experienced that, even for 6 months, or, if it doesn't happen the first month, it's so hard. And it's a pain that's so hard to describe unless you felt it. I remember I would hear other people feeling it before I had ever experienced it. I'm like, oh, that's okay. It'll happen. Don't know why you're so worried, but it's just this fear that consumes your body that you're never going to become a mother. So it's hard. It's really, really hard. And I had finished my nursing degree, and I was going to become a nurse. And my husband's like, why don't you just not do that? We'll focus on my work, and you can figure what you want to do. Cause he was traveling for work and stuff. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Started Convey the Moment. And then that's when I was like, maybe this is my purpose, is to connect women who are going through this and just say I know how much that hurts and how much it feels, how awful it feels. Cause it's honestly the worst feeling. I can't describe it unless you felt it.
And Convey the Moment. No, Convey the Moment is your blog, correct? For people listening.
Sorry. Yes, that's my blog name. And I just started that in a hope, to give myself a hobby so I could stop crying.
Yeah.
Every day. And then, it just turned into this thing where I was I never wanted to tell a single person about infertility because you just feel so much shame. It's hard to explain. It's just this pain that, oh my goodness, it's you were born to become a mother if that's what you want to do, and you can't do it, and you just feel like a failure. I don't know how to say that. Just a failure. So.
I feel like I can relate right now, although because my husband and I are trying to conceive baby number 2, and I'm still weaning my daughter, and I know that's probably the thing, but I don't want to give it up, and so I'm stuck in this I'm supposed to be weaning her, but I don't want to, but I want to have a second child, and why can't I just have both things? And I never understood how disappointing it is every time you take the pregnancy test or every time you get your period, and how people try to console you, but it really feels no one really understands what you're going through, because people will be like, oh, well, in God's timing. And I'm like, I don't want God's timing, I want what I want now. I want that baby, and I want, I want to grow my family and have that love. And it's so hard.
It's so hard. Yeah. It's funny because my husband and I were like, oh, well, we'll never get pregnant again after we had to do IVF to have Harlow, our first daughter. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I was still nursing. And then when we were pregnant, I was like, how am I nursing now? Not trying, and I'm pregnant. Like, how did this happen? Like, it's crazy. It's just it's so different. It's insane. I feel that, though. I know how you feel. It's not easy.
It's not.
One of the most important things that we do for our health every day is brushing our teeth. Yet most of us don't do it properly. And that's why Quip is a better electronic toothbrush created by dentists and designers. It was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and even enjoyable.
I love it because it has a built-in 2-minute timer and it pulses every 30 seconds to remind you to switch sides. It is such a helpful guide for cleaning. And the brush heads are automatically delivered on a dentist recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. Why? Because 3 out of 4 use bristles that are old, worn out, and ineffective. Ew! Quip is one of the first electronic toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association and has thousands of verified 5-star reviews.
I think there's nothing grosser than an old toothbrush.
Ew!
So it's so gross. So that's why I love Quip, because I know they're going to send me a brand new one and I don't even have to think about it. Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/babes right now, you get your first refill pack for free with an electronic Quip toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/babes. How was your IVF process?
Honestly, like, I'm going to be completely honest. It wasn't that bad for me physically, like the medical part of it all. Like, I think it was the emotional part. I was so scared. Like, I just literally would cry to my husband, like, I'm never going to be a mom. Like, this is never going to work. And I just had this fear, like, I didn't maybe have eggs, or I don't know. It was insane. And then the physical part, like, I mean, it's hard. You have to be up super early. You have to do all these shots. Yeah, I don't know. The shots were harder for Tim than me, to be honest. He's like, I'm not doing those. But
oh wait,
yeah,
did he have to take shots too?
No,
or he had to give them to?
No, he couldn't even give them to me. Just watching.
Just watching.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you just go into it knowing it's not going to be easy, and I think like the retrieval, because in Canada they actually keep at the wake for that, and that was like
no way.
Yeah. So the doctor was amazing, and she's just like, let me know if you feel any pain. And all of a sudden I felt pain and I start freaking out. She's like, if you move, we lose all your eggs that we've just grown. I was like, no,
stop.
So yeah, that part was hard. And then I don't know, it's also hard with my blog too, because there was a girl who was next to me who knew who I was, and I was trying to be so private about everything. And I was just ashamed, really, and I don't know, but she was going through the same thing, so we did it together, and we both have babies now. We've become friends because of it. So yeah, it's I don't know, I highly, like, obviously through my blog, I don't know if you guys have peaked or anything, but I totally like encourage women to do whatever they feel is best for them, whether that is IVF or adoption or just trying naturally. Like, there's so many different routes that each person takes, and it's dependent on the person, really. But for me, IVF was it, and it worked, and we're so, so grateful. Like, our daughter's amazing, so.
Aw. Yeah, I have a friend, actually, who's been through, I want to say, like 5 or 6 rounds of IVF, and none of them have been successful, like, where she's carried. And now they're thinking about a surrogate. So it's just, whatever way that works.
Totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes our bodies just aren't ready that 5th time, and sometimes it's the 6th time. My friend who I met through my blog, actually, she did 11 times, and she has 3 babies.
Wow.
I know. And she's amazing, and I always thought of her story. If it's not this time, it'll be the 11th time. So yeah, it's so different and so hard.
She's a strong mama. That's a lot of rounds to go through, but I mean, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you had your daughter Harlow through IVF, and then you became naturally pregnant with your son?
Yes, just naturally. And it's insane how that all happened. It was like the first month. We had been in Greece for 2 months, and I just said, maybe we should start considering another baby. And it's traumatic to even go down that path, because you're like, oh, it's going to be so negative again. And my husband and I, this is actually crazy. I'll tell you guys the story. So we literally were like, let's just call our doctor. We got in, saw him. He's like, it'll be like maybe 6 months, maybe 4 months. We don't know. We need to see what the clinic says. So we're like, whatever, we'll just stop preventing it. So I started getting these cramps, and then I don't know how to explain it, but the cramps are what I felt with Harlow. So I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, I think I'm pregnant. He's like, hey, you've said this like 2.5 years worth of times. Like, you're not pregnant. So I'm like, no, I just had this feeling. And then we were doing a workout and I had to stop. I'm like, no, I'm for sure pregnant. I don't know how I had this feeling. We went to the mall. I couldn't walk. And then literally the fertility clinic called us when we were in the car, and they're like, we have a cancellation at the end of the month. Would you guys want to come in? And I muted it and looked at him. I'm like, that is so soon. Like, our daughter's a bit wild. I'm not sure if I can handle it that soon. So then we confirmed, we're like, okay, we'll do it, whatever. We both hang up. We're like, that's so soon. And that night I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, can you just run to the store? It closes in 15 minutes. Just run super fast. And like, let me just sleep tonight, knowing I'm not pregnant. And then he held the test for the first time. And he just like looked at me. He's like, oh my gosh, Eleni, like, you're pregnant. And we couldn't believe it. It was just like something you fought for so long.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we're like, okay, we take back the feelings of too soon. We're so ready for this. Because you feel kind of bad after that. But it was just, he's an amazing miracle too. So it's crazy.
That's amazing.
Cute. So with the IVF, when you got pregnant with Harlow, you did 1 round?
Yeah, we only had to do the 1 round, but what happened was they stopped me on day 6 because my eggs were growing too quickly. So they're like, this is like not too many, but too quickly. So it wasn't good, because once they hit a certain size, they're not good anymore. So they stopped me on day 6. Usually girls go for like 14 days.
Yeah.
And then they only were able to retrieve, like, they told me they saw 8, and then they were able to get 13, which, so many of them die off. So I was devastated. I'm like, this is never happening. I went back to those feelings of like, I don't know why I was so negative, because I'm usually really positive in everything else in my life, but that just was hard. It was just like, I was so scared. And then the embryologist would call us every day and update us. And actually only 8 of them had fertilized, but then by day 5, we only had the 1. And then actually, right before they transferred it, they told us, so all the rest of them died except for another one. So we'll freeze this one and then transfer this one. And I was like mortified. I'm like, why are you telling me this before you're transferring the one? And it's just surreal. So it ended up working the first time, which we're so grateful for, because I couldn't even imagine having to have failure after failure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually froze my eggs, and I think they pulled like 11 and only 5 were good eggs.
Wow.
So I was like, this is before I got pregnant with my daughter. But I was like, I felt the same way. I was like, okay, 5.
I know.
That's not great, But then it's like, it's 5 possibilities, I guess,
It's true. And that's all I kept saying is like, all you need is one. Like, all you need is one.
Right.
And I tell women that, like, I get messages all the time, and their girls are afraid. And I'm like, I was the most scared, and all you need is one. Like, that's all it takes. So, it's hard.
Yeah.
So Tanner and I have been wanting to invest lately, and it's really hard because I don't know anything really about investing or stocks or how to do it. And I'm super intimidated if I just go on my computer and look. And so the other day we were sitting on the couch and we found the Robinhood app, and it makes it so easy that I feel really confident now in what we're doing. And I'm actually excited to see if we can make some money with this.
Yeah, that's really cool. They help you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free, whereas other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade. But Robinhood doesn't charge that because they're awesome and they let you keep all of your profits. It's so easy to understand. It has charts and market data, place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone, and I'm really excited to try it out.
Yeah, and Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. So sign up at babes.robinhood.com. That's babes.robinhood.com.
We would love to hear about your birth with Harlow.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but it was pretty bad. My husband and I were actually just about to sign papers to like build our new home, and my husband was going to do that. And I was like, oh, I just don't feel well. Like, you go. And he's like, that's weird. Like, you never, like, do never not come with me. So I was 37 weeks at the time. And I went to go in the shower, and it was just like blood like I had never seen before. Yeah, it was really scary. So what had happened is my water had broke, but I was full of, it was just complete blood. So I call him in a panic, and everyone finds this part really funny, but we lived across from the hospital at the time. Not across, like it was like 2 neighborhoods over. And I just started running. Like, I don't know where I was going or what I was doing.
I'm sorry, that is so funny.
But so, it's like, because it's your instinct. Your instinct told you get to the hospital, and that's
protect this baby. So I called him screaming. I'm like, the baby's not okay. I'm running to the hospital. I'll meet you there. He's like, what are you talking about? And then I had left the situation in the bathroom and literally just put on clothes and ran. And he picked me up at the mailbox. Like, I made it like a foot away from our house. And then we went in, and the nurse, who was the nurse in triage, like it was surprising because she had followed me and insane. Wow. And she just like kept advocating for me, like saying, there's so much blood. Like, and the doctor's like, that's okay. We'll just wait and see if the baby's doing fine. And she's like, there's too much blood. And I could just kind of see it in her eyes. She was worried. And she held my hand, or they said, we need to sign the papers for the C-section in case it happens, whatever. And she held my hands and looked at me and said, like, I know who you are. We're going to make sure your baby's okay. And I just like fell in my bed full of blood and was like, okay, it's going to be fine. Within seconds, like the team came running in. They're like, Kate, prep her for the OR. Everyone's like freaking out. And we were in within an hour. She was born. So like my placenta had abrupted. So I had a placental abruption. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And like literally, you guys know, like it was concealed because at 33 weeks, I had severe pain and they couldn't figure out what it was. They thought it was just maybe like contractions, and I was in the ER and they couldn't figure it out. They sent me for ultrasounds. They couldn't see it. So it was just like a blessing that she was saved that time, and that my water broke then. And it was pretty traumatic. And then of course they put her on me, and then they take her away, and they took her away from me. That's what happened. They didn't even put her on me right away. And my husband has no idea what's going on. He thinks that she's fine. He's like smiling, and they start panicking, and I could see it. And everyone around me is just in slow motion. And in my mind, I was screaming, but he said I didn't say a word. Like, I was just staring at them. And they start suctioning her. And then they took her to, they let me hold her for a second. And then they took her to the NICU, and she had aspirated a lot of blood. So she wasn't okay. And then she was in the NICU for a couple days, and it was sad. But what a miracle we have C-sections, and that they could save her. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
How many weeks were you pregnant when you delivered?
I was 37. Well, technically I was 36, because what happened with IVF was she was measuring behind from day one, which is like impossible in IVF world. They're like, this baby from day one, they told us she's not going to make it. Like, there's something not right, because you never measure a week behind with IVF. They literally used the words impossible. And then every week she was a week behind. So technically like 36, but they just kept the transfer date. So 37.
37. Yeah.
So she's just an all-around miracle, that little bean.
She is.
How old is she now?
She just turned 2.
Oh, wow.
On the 10th. Yeah. She's pretty wild. It's amazing.
Oh, man. My daughter's 14 months. I'm just so excited for that age, because she's just getting such a big personality, you know? So 2 is
honestly, it gets better day by day. Like, you just think you can't fall more and more in love, and every single day it's just better. I'm like, this is my favorite stage. Like, and 2 is good, guys. Like, I love it. You have so much to come. I'm excited for you all.
Oh, thank you.
I just have a question. So then when your birth with Arrow, was that as traumatic as it was with Harlow, or no?
No, so I completely was like, I'm gonna like do this whole natural birth thing. Like, it's gonna be so peaceful. Because I think a part of me, like, I honestly had to deal with the feelings of not having a vaginal delivery. And I think because of infertility, I wanted that experience. And I mean, every birth is beautiful and every birth is just obviously a magical experience. But I think that like I needed to come to be okay with the C-section before I had Arrow. So I had come to peace with that. If I have another C-section, it's fine. And that's just what's made out for me or whatever. But once I went into labor, I was like, oh, I've got this, babe. Like, it's totally fine. And then I never felt a single contraction in my stomach. They were all in my back.
Oh, that's so
I was like,
Whoa.
and then down my thighs and my bum. And like, by the time I went on, I was like, call the ambulance. I'm dying. I feel like what happened was I went into shock because I thought of my first experience. And I was like, he's not going to be okay. And then I started seeing black and I'm like, he's like, this is bad. And then obviously we didn't call an ambulance. We just went to the hospital and then it was fine. It was honestly so beautiful compared to with Harlow when it's just, I had no control. Like I felt like I wasn't even part of it. I'm just like, you guys aren't giving me choices. Like I want choices. So it was just completely different. And I did have a successful VBAC. So that's something
that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Lots of doctors maybe aren't advocates for that, but mine was. And he was like, we're doing this. Like, you have a 70% chance. And I just like went for it and it was amazing. It was honestly just so wonderful. And it was perfect for us. So
Amazing.
Aww. And he was healthy and everything, yeah?
Yeah, of course. So like as soon as he comes out, I'm like, is he okay? And like that's like I saw in your birth story, actually, I remember, I think it was you, Jade, you asked that. If she was okay. I think it's just our instincts as moms. But I was just like, is he fine? Like I started like panicking. They're like, it's fine. He's amazing. And then I heard him cry and it was just,
that first cry. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's like hard to explain. You just like wait for it. Like, where is it? You want to like tickle them, get it out. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
that was Arrow. It was amazing. And the nurses were wonderful and
That's awesome. I love hearing VBAC stories. VBAC stories are just, because you're right, like a lot of doctors don't advocate for that, but there are a handful that do. And obviously they wouldn't, like, if it got to a situation where it was at risk or your life or your baby's, then they would have a C-section. You know, they wouldn't put your life at risk.
Of course. And that's the thing. It's like Tim and I said, as long as the baby's safe and then we're totally, of course, like, we'll do whatever we could to keep this baby safe. Mm-hmm. There was a point, though, they had me sign the papers and, you know, because his heart rate was dropping and stuff. And I was like, I'm signing them, but this isn't happening.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I have a question that's just, it doesn't have to do with any of that really, but what made you choose your baby's names? Because I love them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Okay, guys. I know they're really hippie and like my I'm Greek. So I remember when Harlow was born, I was like, okay, now I'm going to have to explain this to my Greek parents. And then with Arrow, I was like, okay, this is even worse. But Harlow, so my girlfriend had sent me a list of names and Harlow was on it. But I also have always loved Nicole Richie. And she has like House of Harlow and her daughter's name's Harlow. And I just felt like it fit me. I don't know. My husband loved it. He's like, that's our baby girl's name one day. And so then he liked that. And then with Arrow, like, same thing, kind of. My girlfriend sent me a list. It was actually her sister, and Arrow was on it. And I was like, oh, I really like it. And Tim's like, our baby boy's name is Arrow. So,
oh my God, I love it too. Vito would never let me name my kid something. Like, I love like names like that, but my fiance's super Italian, and we said we weren't going to name our kids Italian names, but everything we have picked out is Italian. So
I love that you already have names.
I might be able to sneak in like a hippie middle name.
There you go. Or you just name your dogs the names that you wish you could have named your kids.
I guess. You know what I mean? No, those are beautiful names. Absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I know they're so wild. And then explaining to my parents Arrow, that was funny. I'm like, how do you say Arrow in Greek? It's a Greek name.
Oh my gosh, yes. Genius.
Like a warrior, you know, a Greek warrior. He's an arrow.
Yes. It's so funny. They're fine though. They're like pretty Canadian, so it's funny. I just joke about it.
I think it's a really strong name. Like, it sounds like good head on his shoulders, knows his direction. I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of Arrow.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks. Yeah. Now I'm like seeing so many arrows too. Like,
really?
It's not. Yeah, my husband's like, hey, that makes me feel better that we're not like that weird.
See, so my daughter's name is Emerson, and now that I've named her, I notice so many more. It's a unisex name, so I see boys and girls named Emerson, but I'm like, I'm the opposite way. I'm like, no, don't take my child's name. I don't want it to get super popular and there's like 5 Emersons in school. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm the same way that way, actually. It's funny, but I literally see Harlow everywhere. You're at the park and a Harlow comes down the slide. I was like, no.
I know.
I love the name Emerson, though. That was on our daughter's list as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's coming more popular. I don't know how, like Tanner and I, when we got pregnant, we just went and celebrated, and at dinner we both wrote down like 10 different names, and it was both on our list, and I don't know how.
Interesting.
Maybe we had once spoken about it, but for some reason and we both looked at each other, kind of like your husband and you, and we were just like, that's it, that's the name. We just knew.
You just know. I agree with that.
Yeah.
We can't agree on boy names, though. That'll be trouble.
So hard. Boys are just it's hard. That
Tanner
when we found out it was a boy, I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Liz, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. So your blog, Convey the Moment. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I actually just came back from 10 months offline, so it was amazing. I needed it. I just started my blog, and then I didn't really know what I was doing with it. So once I had done my work for the year, I'm like, I'm going to take a break and see how I feel about this. And one day I just got this calling to come back. And the day I came back, it was insane. The amount of people who messaged me, you literally saved me during the hardest days and stuff. So it's mostly life and style, but then I'm also a vegan. So I throw in some vegan stuff without being, a crazy vegan. But I just like to connect with women and moms, especially too, who are just a simple life. I don't know. I think Instagram and stuff, it can be so hard and so fake and stuff. So I try to come in with I'm just like you sort of mindset, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's insane. I don't know if that really answered your question.
Yeah.
That's what it is about.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just life and life, really. Infertility, a lot of support there. I have a mom group on Facebook, and it's just community, really, is all I really want it to be. So I hope I've done that.
What is your Facebook group in case there's any listeners that may want to join?
Sure. It's called Convey Motherhood. I actually am just switching it over to a new one because my old Facebook, something happened with it. But anyway, so it's Convey Motherhood. And what I've done is created a group where it's literally zero judgment. I don't know how I've done it, but I'm so proud of every single woman on there because they're so loving, so kind. No one shames anyone. They're encouraging and supportive and loving. And, we all do motherhood differently. And I think that's something that is so important. Not one way is right. It's just what's right for you. And so the tone is just, it's outrageous. People will ask anything and there's no judgment. And if there's judgment, it's just deleted and the person's blocked and we just have no space for it. So it's amazing. It's literally sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, good for you. That's a really hard thing to do. We struggle with that.
Seriously,
our Facebook group.
It's not easy. And that's the thing. But I have this army of moderators and admins who are on it with me. And I'm proud of that group, really, because they're just amazing. And it's the middle of the night. You don't know what to do. You're freaking out. And there's this team of girls who are there just to support you. So I'm proud of them. And now it's starting over again. I was like, guys, we need to get this happening again. But it's awesome. Even with how small it is right now, since the start over, they're still doing amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It's nice to hear because that's something that we strive for too. And is just providing a community for women to feel heard and not judged. And it's so hard as moms because we already are so hard on ourselves as it is. So I think that's great that that's something that you've accomplished in your group because we need more of that.
I know. Thank you so much. I do believe in that too. It's hard. We're so hard on ourselves. And just to hear someone be like, you're doing amazing, it's helpful. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for all that you do. I think it's amazing that you're sharing your story and that so many women are saying like you've helped them and just showing your support to other women. And I just loved listening to you. I think you're just like a very I'm well-spoken. I was like, you're definitely a writer. I can tell you have a blog.
That's so kind. Oh my goodness. That's so nice to hear. Hopefully I've made a difference at the end of the day. I think that's what matters.
You change one person's life and you've made a difference. So
that's so kind of you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming
on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And before you go, where can people find you on Instagram?
You guys are so sweet. I'm just at Convey the Moment. That's my name and basically me across everywhere. So I'd love other women to just join our team of support. So thank you for that. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
As are you.
All right. Thanks, Eleni.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
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 Oh my gosh.
She's so pretty.
She's so pretty.
I was like,
she just had a baby. Like how?
Right.
What?
Do you ever just like hear somebody or like meet somebody's presence and they just feel like a gentle mother? I felt like she's like that person. She was so sweet and so kind.
Yeah.
I was just like melting over here, like falling in love with her.
It's another one of Jade's made up friendships in her mind that she has with this person.
Yes. It is. like, you just meet somebody and you're just like, I would love, like, you would be my friend.
Yeah. Jade's like, that's it. We're all moving to Canada and being best friends.
I'll go to Canada. That sounds fun.
I'll move there part-time.
Oh, I
don't
love
think
Canada.
I can do it all the time. I can't do the cold. I mean, I know it's not cold there all the time, but me and cold don't get along, so.
I'd move to Canada
your body
in a
hates
heartbeat.
it.
We all should take a trip to Banff, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's on the list.
To what?
Banff. It's where we'll send you photos, Carly. You're
what is
definitely gonna.
this?
It's the beautiful national park in Canada. It's like you'll recognize the photos. There's Lake Louise and all these mountains around this beautiful glass lake.
Yeah.
It's just
okay, I know what
where
you're talking
Amanda
about.
Stanton went.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, yeah. Lenny was absolutely adorable and such a sweetheart, and I love her kids' names too. So.
Oh my gosh. Those are so cool. She's so much cooler than we will ever be.
I know.
She's like the cool hippie that like I want to be, but I'm never going to be. Dang it.
I want to be a vegan mom with hippie kid names, but it's probably never going to happen. So.
Me too.
I guess
You
we'll
can be that. You can do that. Liz, you're already like we're all kind of free spirits in our own ways.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure. Yeah, I guess.
We should have a podcast about parenting because, or like types of parenting, because I'd be curious of what kind of parenting discipline kind of you guys would fall into. I wonder what it would be.
Yeah, I actually so Vito and I are taking this premarital course, and we're kind of reading and doing the workbook on our own and then coming together and talking about it. And it talks about 3 different styles of parenting. And it asks you what you think you will be and then what you think your fiance will be. And he and I haven't talked about it yet. But
you haven't?
No, I was actually filling it out last night. But
what are the 3 types,
I saw
just
you
out of
doing
curiosity? Do you remember?
There's like authoritative, and then something else. And one of them, like the top one was basically, these are the rules. And if you break them, there are consequences. And then the second one is, these are the rules, but we're going to talk about it. And there's like a little more leeway in there. And then the third one, it was like, there are no rules. Do whatever you want. And I actually think I'm going to be way more strict than Vito. So it'll be interesting. Just because our families are very different. And I grew up, I wouldn't say my parents are very strict, but I also knew like, if I was going to disobey, then there's consequences.
Right.
And I just feel like kids don't respect elders these days. Like, no, you do not mouth off to your grandma. You do not mouth off to your aunt. You do not mouth off to anybody older than you. Otherwise, you're busted.
Yeah. Actually, I think this would be a really good podcast. We should do some research and kind of like pick some parenting styles.
I just don't know my answer to that yet because like,
well, you probably haven't because you don't know yet. We're not disciplining our kids yet. You can't discipline a baby.
And I don't discipline Evan's kids because I want to be liked.
I want to be the cool mom.
I've only disciplined one time, and that was like a while ago. And it was because Evan was out of town. I was like, no, you're not going to go hang out with your friends. You just did this. No. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, no, you can go back downstairs. Sorry. That's the only time I ever did that.
And they were like, who are you?
I know. Don't want to hang out with Carly anymore. She doesn't let me get away with anything.
Yeah, that would be fun for sure. If you guys have some parenting styles or tips, send them to us and we'll chat about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do this again in 10 years and be like, so I was wrong.
Totally.
For sure.
Let's put this in a time capsule.
Exactly.
There's just so many different parenting styles. So I'm just interested. And I know it's pretty much based on personalities probably. And like you said, Liz, like how you were raised, either you do what your parents do, or you like almost do the opposite of what your parents did.
Right.
Just like, just depends on like how it affected you as a kid.
Right. And I've also heard so much that, I mean, your kids' personality traits are so different too. So you can't parent every single kid the exact same way.
Right.
I absolutely agree.
True.
I think when it comes to consequences, you know, like one of them might respond well to this while the other one doesn't respond well to that, you know? So it's, I think when it comes to, we'll save this for the parenting episode.
Yeah. I'm excited now because this is something I think about a lot now as Emerson's getting a little bit older, and I know she's going to start, you know, what do you do when a little kid's like, no, like you got to sit him down and teach him, you know, like what age do you start that for one? And then how do you, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should get an expert. If there's anyone listening who's like I don't know, what would you bring on a psychologist or would you bring on?
There was somebody who reached out before. I'll see if I can remember it or find it.
Yeah. Now I'm really pumped about this.
I want to learn how to parent.
Teach me how to parent.
Teach me how to parent, please. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Funny.
All right.
It is funny. Yeah.
Well, the next time we talk, we will be on our girls' trip.
Oh my gosh, we'll be together.
It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
I'm so ready.
The Airbnb sent me a message last night, like a reminder that your trip's coming up, and I got really excited.
Oh my gosh, yes. I am so pumped. Evan is taking my car today to go get it cleaned because, you guys, I think there might be a dirty diaper in the car or something.
Gross.
And not a poopy one, but like maybe a pee one somewhere because I got in yesterday and I was like, no, there's something wrong here. And
Are you sure it's not the car seat?
No, because the car seat wasn't in there.
Oh.
Because we bring her in the car seat and then take her out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something else. Something else in there. It smells a little funky.
Ruh-roh.
It'll be better by the time you guys are in there.
Yeah, Carly, better get that fixed before Friday.
I will for you guys.
We have high standards.
Well,
just kidding.
no.
All right, ladies. Should we?
All right, yeah. Okay, so next time you guys listen to us, we'll be together and you'll be able to tell the difference, maybe.
And you might
maybe
know
we'll have had a few glasses of wine before, and then we'll be really funny.
I was going to say they're going to be able to tell the difference because they're going to be like, these girls are tipsy doing this and laughing way too much.
Why are they so giggly?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm excited for that.
Same. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe and share and do all of the things because we just want to spread that message of love for our fellow moms and women and support. And thank you to our moderators again on the Facebook. When she was talking about that,
thank you.
We would be drowning in all of the Facebook stuff if we didn't have our awesome moderator team controlling it and blocking the haters.
Yeah. No haters here.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
This
podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.